Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Bullion Bites here. On this video I wanted to talk to you about how not all silver is the same. You might see in other videos, other people talking about, well, silver is silver and an ounce is an ounce and it's all the same, so just buy whatever the cheapest option is, stack that, and it'll be good. And people like that are going to say, okay, go out and, for example, just keep getting 5 ounce or 10 ounce bars, whatever's the lowest premium option you can get when you're going to buy it. Just keep stacking those one at a time. Keep going until you start to see your stack growing. And that would be all well and good if it was just everyone made the same thing. There was no manufacturing, accounting going into place, no quality control issues, no scandals within the silver community. But anyone that's been around for a little while knows that not all silver is the same. So you could go out, you could buy 5 ounce, 10 ounce, 1 ounce bars, and you're going to pay a little bit less on your premium when you pick it up. But this is kind of where you go from stacking basics to kind of digging in, getting to that next layer of precious metals and how things that are potentially semi-numismatic, like this 5 ounce $quarter war in the Pacific from the US Mint, the America the Beautiful series, and how for something as little as a couple bucks more than a generic bar, especially with premiums being where they are, might let you get some resale value, or have your silver appreciate more in value than just the metal's price. Or you might go a little bit further back in the dates and you might get something like Blue Ridge Parkway here, 2015, nice looking coin, another one in that series. Now these two, you might say, okay, these are pretty similar in value, but the difference between bars and rounds, or bars and coins, these are technically coins, face value of 25 cents. You might say, okay, well, what's the, what does it really matter? Why would I care what's on it? Maybe somebody really likes, Teddy Roosevelt, and they say, I want to get this coin and I'm willing to pay a premium for it. Or they might say, I just like how it looks. It's got significant importance to me and I'm willing to pay the premium. Or another thing is there might be a limited run or limited manufacturing date on certain coins, like 2012 series. So this Denali 2012 is more of a hot ticket item for that America the Beautiful series. It's got a little smudge on the case on this one. Or something like the 2012 Acadia. That's another really uncommon one. 2012 again. They made a very limited run on these in 2012. I think they made about half or a third of these as they did most of the other dates. This is a pet peeve of mine. Please don't put stickers on cases. I hate it. I hate seeing that. But that's just me going on a soapbox for 5 seconds. That's what this is right here. This is just some glue left behind. Bugs me like no tomorrow. Now, so we got our generics. We got our America the Beautiful series here. What if you were to look at something like these Perth? This is the 2012 Lunar 5 ounce 2011 Rabbit series. If you were to go on eBay before you looked at the price on these, guess how much these are going for over 5 ounce generic bars. Now, when these first came out, they were only a couple of bucks more than going out and buying generic bullion. This is where going from being just kind of a beginner stacker or a baby stacker and kind of upgrading. This is 2022 Year of the Tiger. Same thing, Series 3, Queen Elizabeth on there. I can't wait for the 2023 Rabbits to see if those are going to be a dual faced coin, if part of them are going to have the Queen and part of them are going to have the new monarch, I think King Charles, on them. We'll see. But these cost a little bit more than these. These cost a little bit more than these. But the appreciation on this far exceeds the jump in silver price that generic bars are going to have, because a generic bar, silver bar, is only going to be worth a couple of bucks over the spot price at most. And that applies to Anglehards, that applies to A-marks, that applies to vintage silver, As much as people want to think collecting vintage silver bars is going to appreciate, it's going to have a premium to it, there's some very minute details there, and there's a whole bunch of generic ones that look very similar. Coins, rounds, a little bit different there. That's all I'm going to say. Now, you can make the same argument for coming out and getting some silver eagles, and everyone who's been into stacking in the past couple of months knows what the premiums on these have done in the past, here couple months here. This is the one that's been at the top of the roll. I've had this one, this one I think is, let's see if it'll focus, 2013. This is one of the first silver eagles that I bought. But you'd be hard pressed to argue that eagles, bars, semi-numismatic rounds are going to have all the same value, all the same premium. I will say, I will concede, yes, they're all silver. Yes, they're all 5 ounces at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, if the price of silver jumps to $500 an ounce, it doesn't matter what you bring to a shop to sell it or to somebody else to sell it. They're only going to pay you for the silver content. Yeah, but if it comes down to that and I have to sell off a bunch of silver, this is just for me, I'm not going to sell these right away. Usually if the price of silver is going to jump like crazy like that, something else that's really catastrophic has happened, and I'm not worried about these. These are going to sit somewhere for 90 days, 180 days, a year, until whatever caused that spike in price to calm down. Because do you really think shops, cash for gold places, all those other people, refineries are going to pay face value for 1 ounce rounds or 100 ounce bars or things that they have to put a lot of labor into to melt down and then reprocess? No, they're going to pay you a fraction of what the spot price is because they have to go through all the labor of it. And the average person on the secondary market, if a silver eagle right now costs 40 bucks and no one wants to buy them, what makes you think somebody's going to want to buy one of these when they're 100 bucks, 500 bucks, 200 bucks? They're not. This is all going to get chopped down into super small stuff. It's going to get fractionated. And so it's either going to become silver grams, and at that point, when silver's 500 bucks an ounce, and this is just me pulling a number out of the sky that sounds astronomical, what's the cost of a gram of silver at that point? If a gram of silver is, let's say, somewhere between $20 and $40, people aren't going to buy it. People are going to say, well, why would I screw around with that? The same thing with gold. If gold goes up to $5,000 an ounce or even $3,000 an ounce, do you see people wanting to pay $100 a gram for gold? No. And that's not even, $3,000 an ounce is not even that far away for gold. Not to say, I'm not making a prediction, that's just me saying, okay, I think $3,000 gold is more realistic than $500 silver. And I want to lay all these things out for you guys because this is really what I would say is kind of like level 2, or the next step, going beyond the basics and stacking silvers, looking at, mintages for, the coins and the rounds that are coming onto the market and seeing, what's, going to appreciate, what's popular or what's been popular, and what's, either the first coin in a new series. And this is where you have to kind of, go and dig around and do your due diligence and make sure you don't get hosed. You don't make sure you don't end up with something like this ending up in your stack, where if you look closely right down here, you can see it says copy. And anything that says copy on it, you'll see, all it's going to say is, oh, it's a Buffalo proof. What does that really mean? It means it's not worth a damn. You can find all this kind of stuff all over the place on the internet. So you want to be careful. You want to make sure you don't get burned on stuff like that. That's why you got to do your own research. You got to look into the things that you're buying. You got to make sure that, when you find things that, look like they're going to appreciate quite a bit, you can, jump into it. Now, I'm not saying go in and jump in and start trying to find America the Beautiful series right now. There's 60 coins in that set. And they're 5 ounce a piece. You do the math. That's a lot of silver to tie up in one series. But when you're tired of looking at bars, this is really the next kind of thing to look at is, semi-numismatic series coins. If you don't want to, get into the, old coins, the, true numismatic coins like piece dollars and Morgan dollars, that kind of stuff. Running out of time on this video, please rate, like, subscribe. If you've got made it this far, that'd be awesome. I will see you guys on the next one. Keep stacking.